everyone, today I'm going to be making a sewing video. I haven't done one of these in a long time, but I really wanted to get back into sewing and I have the perfect project for this. I actually have a dress that I want to wear for the 4th of July, but I was having a few complications with how to make it more modest. It's right. No, this looks terrible. So I decided that I could make some alterations to make this dress more modest, and then I wouldn't have to wear all kinds of stuff over it or underneath it. It was just too many layers. So I'm hoping that this project will work out. I haven't looked up a tutorial or anything on how to do something like this. I kind of just have it in my mind. I can kind of see how I want it to go, and I am praying that that happens. So we'll see. So let's get into it. So here's the dress that I'm hoping to make more modest. It is so cute in my opinion. It has strawberries and cherries on it. I feel like it's perfect for summer, and I really feel like it's the perfect 4th of July dress too. So that's why I really wanted to wear it. But the complications that I had with this dress was, one, this V-neck. Usually if a dress has just, a straight cut across, it's easy to wear a shirt underneath it. But it looks kind of funny with the V-neck. And there's this metal bar here, this metal thing in here, metal V, that I know I can take out easily and then just sew these two pieces together. And then for the sleeves, this might be the trickiest part. Plan is to cut that last layer off because it would still be long enough. And then make sleeves out of that somehow. I'm still wanting to keep these ties, but I'm thinking I could sew some fabric for the sleeves. And then hopefully if I have extra fabric left over, depending on how low cut this is, once I get the sleeves, I could add a little bit more fabric here. And then it'll all match because I'm getting the fabric from the dress. I don't have to worry about color matching and all of that. So I'm really thankful this dress is longer so that I can do this. And like I said, I am praying this works out because I really like this dress and I want this to be my 4th of July outfit. So let's see if we can do this.
So the first thing that I'm doing here is I'm taking this metal V out. I just cut a little piece on the top and then I'm able to just slip it out really easily. And then I'm turning the dress inside out so that I can put these two pieces of the V-neck together. I pinned it and then I'm gonna sew it together. And then this is what it looks like when it's sewed together. Like I said, this was the easiest part. Now on to the hard part. So I took the bottom tier of the dress. My original plan was to just cut it off, but then I thought about how much fabric I would need. So that's why what I'm doing here is I'm taking the stitch out so I can save as much fabric as possible. Then whenever I had that done, I just cut along the seam of the strip that I was able to take off. Now I am trying to figure out how I'm going to do these sleeves. This was my original plan right here, just folding the sleeve over my shoulder like that and then sewing it. But then when I got to playing around with it, I thought it might be better to have it coming all the way across like I'm doing here, because then it would cover my neck and stuff more, because I was worried about how low cut the dress was. Also, I cannot take full credit for that. My husband saw me struggling with this, so he came in and helped me. But anyways, so I put the dress on the table to see if I could recreate this. I put the strip down, put the dress in the middle, and then folded it over the top. And now what I'm doing here is I'm pinching the sleeves with no rhyme or reason to it, just pinching them to make it look like sleeves. And then I'm putting a safety pin on it. And then what I did was I tucked the extra pieces inside of the dress. The first thing I wanted to do was I wanted to sew the back of the dress so I could get that in place, and then I could play around with the sleeves a little bit more. This took me so many tries. If you notice on the back, it's very stretchy, okay? So when I sewed it the first time, I just sewed the strip on there and didn't think anything of it. But when I went to go put the dress back on, it wouldn't fit me because there was no more stretch to it. So as you can see here, I am now stretching the piece, the back piece, so that it can go on the fabric and the fabric can also still be stretchy. Another tip is start in the middle. If you noticed earlier, I pinned it in the middle. I only pinned it in the middle because I knew I was gonna have to stretch it. I sewed one side after I stretched it, then I sewed the other side. This is what it looks like whenever I had it sewed on there. And then after I pinned it and everything, I was able to put this back on and see what the pins look like, where I just kind of scrunched it together to make the sleeves. That looks pretty good to me. And then I created my own V-neck right there, which I will pin in just a second. And then I also tucked it into the dress. And then as you can see, I can still use the ties, you know, to make a cute little bow on the top. Okay, and then that's where I pinned the V-neck. And I sewed that part by hand because that was just really simple, a really small stitch anyways. And plus I wanted to make sure it worked. And then this part, again, there's no rhyme or reason to how I sewed this. It's definitely not professional, but where I scrunched it up, I just sewed all the pieces together and made it look all scrunchy like this. That's really all I can say. So now that I have the sleeves scrunched and sewed and then the V-neck sewed, now I am pinning the dress to the part that I've tucked in so that I can sew that together. So I did the right side first, just a simple stitch, pretty straightforward. And that stitch actually turned out pretty good, if you can see it. And then I did the other side, which was a little bit harder because I had to tuck the whole dress towards the sewing machine. I don't even know if that's the correct way to do it, but when I'm doing different sides, you know, that's the only way I can figure it out. So anyways, what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting off the excess from what I sewed because you don't need that anymore. And then that's what that looks like. Looks pretty good to me. And then here's a close-up of that so you can see it. Okay, and now this part, in hindsight, I would not have done it because of what I'm going to show you later. But I folded the pieces of the V-neck in the back to make a seam. And as you can see here, that looks horrible. It's crooked and everything. So I came up with another idea. And I was very hesitant about this because I really wanted to keep these ties. But what I did, I measured and then I cut off some of the front pieces of where you tie it at. And then I was going to sew that onto that horrible V-neck I just made to make it look a little bit better. So here I'm pinning it down and praying that it works. This is what it looks like when it's all pinned. And now I'm just sewing that together. Again, the stitching does not look that great. It's still a little bit crooked, but looks way better than it did. And this is the final look. I have all of it sewed. It's completely done. The back looks good. Everything's full coverage. I still was able to keep the bows, the ties on there, and I feel like that creates a distraction from how crooked my V-neck is. But I think it turned out pretty good.